All right. Giving everybody a second to hop onto the lives. And I'm sure more people will be joining us on the Zoom as we start. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So we'll start by grounding ourselves and setting the intentions for this call. So if you're not driving and you're not doing anything dangerous, feel free to close your eyes and join in this prayer for us and for the world. So take a couple breaths in, and with each breath in, allow yourself to be here a little bit more. With each breath in, let go of the past, let go of the future. Let go of imaginations. Be here now. Relax your shoulders just a little bit, each breath. Notice the seat that you're sitting on. Breathing in through your nose, noticing that the air is cooler on the way in than on the way out. And as we start this morning, we're going to ponder and reflect and contemplate on this one paragraph as I read. Allow whatever thoughts to come through to you. Just let it come. God is here with us. Miracles are expressions of love, one person expressing love to another. To give miracles, then, you must have love in you. You must have a perception of those on the receiving end as having inestimable worth and as being your equal. Your miracle honors the holiness and perfection that God created in them. This will heal them, restoring their sense of wholeness and even healing their body. Furthermore, you, as the giver, will gain in love and strength. Your miracles will heal individuals in distant places, allowing groups in your heart, and ultimately bringing you closer to the day when everyone is united in heaven. We should devote every day to giving miracles, for that is what time is used for. And allow yourself to give love and send love to whatever thoughts came to your mind, whoever came to your mind. And as we move into a new moment, we say thank you, much blessings, and start to bring yourself back to this call here. And take a deep breath in and welcome in the present moment to the now. Welcome to the here and now. And you can open your eyes and feel the new moment, feel the new possibilities. And hello, good morning. Welcome, everybody, to our Wednesday morning and Sunday morning A Course in Miracles call. For anybody that is new, if you're watching new live anywhere or if you're new on our Zoom, I want to say welcome. This is a complete safe space. And we're all here to practice and remember love, not only in ourselves, but in others. To remember what is our natural inheritance and how love actually wants to flow through us effortlessly. We just have too much stuff that gets in the way. So I encourage you guys, whatever thoughts come to your mind on this call, be a contribution to the conversation. I see this call as about an hour and a half of conscious prayer. You know, we are actually creating a rift. We're being an interruption to this world. You know, that we actually take some moments here to slow down and stop the scrolling of social media, stop the running back and forth everywhere. That we take this moment to honor this moment. And in that we remember who we really are and how we can extend ourselves to those that are around us already, to the teachers that God has placed in front of us. You know, whether that be your ex or be your children, your parents, your coworkers. Okay, there's no accidents. There's no accidents that any of you guys are here. There is something that you are meant to hear today, that you're meant to take and to teach it and remind our brothers and sisters out there. By hearing this message and by being here today, we are all miracle workers. We have said yes. And I have found some scriptures online, and I actually went and bought the book. So A Course in Miracles has obviously this edition, and I'll pull it out. So it has the Foundation to Inner Peace edition. Okay, but this is maybe 1/10 the size of the original text that Helen Schuckman has scribed. But it's very good. It captures majority of it. But I found some of the languaging in the original text, and I actually bought the book too, the original one. And I found some text. I'll read some of those to start this conversation. But again, if you feel any thoughts, if any thoughts come to you, please do feel free to share and add and contribute to this space. Often this call is the most powerful when people are sharing. Okay, and I will talk about different things that will evoke these conversations. So yeah, we are all here for a reason. Okay, so we talked a little bit about miracles during our opening prayer. We talked about miracles. I've said miracles a couple times, but what is really miracles? And the Course says that miracles are our natural expressions of love. And the original text says that it's expressions of love in which one person communicates love to another. Now, last week we talked about what love is, and then we talked about what specialness is. Most of the times in our world here, the way that we live our world, we live in specialness. We live in I give you and I need something in return. So the recognition of am I in love or am I in specialness? That's something that we get to contemplate throughout the day. Right? We need acknowledgement. We need recognition. So it is the love and the forgiveness that is within the miracle that is the healing agent. Okay, it heals us because there is something that is inside of a miracle. So miracles are expressions of love. This love and forgiveness, once accepted into yourself, naturally wants to extend outwards and shine away darkness in others. Okay, I'll say that again. When we accept this love and forgiveness in ourselves, it naturally wants to extend outwards and shine away the darkness in others. Now, this requires practice for us too, because oftentimes in our society, we accept our religious leaders, religious institutions out there, they accept some sort of forgiveness and some sort of love that they experience, but they force it onto others rather than extending it out onto others. What you resist persists. Right, last week or maybe a week ago, I've been talking about this guy Paul, who was fighting human trafficking down in South America. He's the billionaire in the movie Sound of Freedom. His name is Pablo, and Pablo in the movie, but his name is actually Paul in real life. He's going to be meeting with me on September 16th in Vegas. But he went down. He quit his $1 billion real estate empire to go down to South America to fight human trafficking. He was a billionaire that Tim Ballard went to for support, financial support, to help rescue children. And there were multiple times where he was held at gunpoint. There was multiple times in which he didn't know if he was going to live or not, but he rescued hundreds of children in his time down there, arrested tons of child traffickers, only to find that in the 5 years that he was fighting, that the industry actually grew by 2 million people being trafficked. What you resist persists. Wherever you put your energy and your efforts towards, it naturally grows. This is the law of expansion. Where in our life do we fight against the current, fight against something that is possibly a gift for us, but we don't know that, and we fight against it, and we keep getting the outcomes that we don't desire, that isn't even meant for us? It's a simple lesson for you to see what love is not. See, the Course says love is beyond what can be taught. Our job is to find all the barriers within ourselves that we have put up against love. That is our job. It isn't about learning what love really is. We learn what love is not, and love naturally shines through. So miracles. Miracles are expressions of love, extending from one person to another. And the real miracle, see, the Course, this book, The Foundation for Inner Peace, says that the real miracle is the love that inspires them. The expressions of love every day. What does it say? Yeah, only peace rallies. So for us, we can look at how we are not accepting the lessons that are in front of us, the barriers. God is showing us this is not love, and we fight against it. Now, when we fight against it, these problems come up in our life. And if you don't get it the first time and you don't learn it the first time, what ends up happening is the stake gets greater and greater each time. Because you have the awareness, but you are intentionally not looking at it. So the stakes get greater. And now, at some point, the Course says every one of us will reach a point. We have tolerance for pain. We have great tolerance for pain because we're insane. We have great tolerance for pain. However, it is not without an end. So there is hope. That hope is at some point we're like, screw this. This is not how I want to live my life. Okay. I've done this over and over and over again. It's not working. Yeah. And God's like, there you go. Finally. God's got patience. You can keep running around in the hamster wheel all you want. At some point, you're going to be like, dude, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over. Please, God, show me another way. And this is all you need. All you need is the willingness to be wrong about the way that you've always had it. Immediately, the Holy Spirit will show itself to you. When you finally say, this ain't the way that I want it. I've been fighting for way too long. I'm done with war. And then you get to put down your sword and your shield. Truth needs no defense. And you say, God, show me a different way. And the willingness to do that, the voice, the answer that God has placed in all of us already, the Holy Spirit, will begin to guide you very, very clearly. Many people in this world have experienced that. Perhaps you have experienced that. Now, we have moments of clarity. And we're like, whoa, yes, I get it. I get why I'm here. I get why I'm in this relationship. Oftentimes it comes from some sort of loss. But then we go back into our specialness again. Then we go back into the way the world wants us to think again. So miracles don't have to just be, it is a shift in perception for us from fear to love. Okay, that is a miracle. But the true miracle lies in the love that inspires them, the desire for us even to want to express love. We express love, it may be a specialness way, but the desire to even want to express love to somebody, that is the spark and where the miracle starts. And then the second part of that original phrase is that when you accept God and forgiveness into yourself, the light that looks out from you cannot even tolerate the idea that light is not in others. Now, be careful of the judgment that comes from it. But when you come from a pure space, forgiveness and love naturally wants to express itself in forms, in its own different forms, to touch the lives of others. And in order for us to do that, we must practice forgiveness. Now, what are we forgiving? We're forgiving the fact that we see somebody as a character that we've made them. Every single person in your life, they are a cartoon character that you have made in your mind. I had a profound conversation this weekend. Okay, I went to a real estate conference. The greatest and the best connection that I made was with a woman named Deborah. I made some great connections. Somebody wanted me to run a $250 million institutional fund. I met some amazing, amazing people. But the best connection I made, we talked about how her and her partner, what their last moments were like. And we shed some tears. I got to experience, I get to hold the space for her to share that with me. And in that, I felt extremely connected with her. So I'm going to invite her to share her story here one day. But she's amazing. The things we talk about, she's never read the course. She's never done any plant medicines. She's never read the course. And she literally talked about this exact conversation here, which is seeing people at their 100%. That's what she called it. She said, finally, before my partner passed away, in the last moments of his life, we danced at 100%. I finally saw him at his 100%, and I saw myself at 100%. It was beautiful. To me, that was the most beautiful connection I made this weekend. And again, I met so many amazing people. But this one, I met with my soul. Our souls met. And it allowed me to see myself clearer. Because everything else we talked about at the conference with everyone else mostly was about money, real estate. We lived in the material world. So when we go out and when we meet people, the level of connection that we get to build. And I'm going to read something else in a second here about the holding space, about parenting. I wrote in our WhatsApp chat, our ACIM master WhatsApp chat, that myself and my wife, she's here right now, we are talking about having kids. And so there's a line in the course that says, a miracle worker has opened up himself a deep well of love, the very thing that miracle receivers currently lack. Okay, so the giver has opened up a deep well of love. Now, the receiver on the other end currently lacks it. Not that they actually lack it, they perceive that they lack it, and I perceive they lack it. The miracle is a gift then that lets the receiver share in the inner abundance of the giver. That means the giver is meeting the receiver where the receiver is at. They get to share in the abundance of your well, and therefore they feel safe. In the safety, they are able to remember themselves. Okay, we get to be safe. This is exactly the example, is precisely what parenting should be. It should be miracle working. Now, parenting, yes, this way, but also in our friendships. It's about me finding the well of love deep inside myself so that I may share with somebody else, so that in that moment maybe they don't feel love, that they may share in my well without judgment and feeling safe. A miracle heals the receiver and the giver at the same time. It supplies us with the lack of with the love that we lack in this moment. Not that love isn't here for all of us, and not that we aren't loved, but that we lack it because we perceive something else other than love. Being given by one who is currently more in touch with love at this moment. In this moment, I may be more in touch with love, so that I got to share it with you, because in order for me to keep it, I have to give it away. See, this is an opposite, upside down concept with how we have it in the world. The way we have it in the world is I give you $5, I have 5 less, you have 5 more. Therefore, you have to say thank you to me, and I want to be acknowledged. And every single time, I will remind you that I gave you $5. That's the way we do love. Okay, now that analogy, you can use it and all the other things you've said to your partners or other people. I did this, I did that, I give you all my energy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just so tired of giving my energy all the time. You didn't give nothing. You gave it with a string attached to it, which is even worse. Because now you create guilt. So what did you actually give? You actually gave guilt. Nobody wants your guilt. Stop giving your guilt away. So for us, parenting, yeah, and we get into the loop, but it's okay. But for us, parenting should be miracle working, an endless series of expressions of love. See, when we finally understand that in the giving, the receiving happens. In the giving, the receiving happens. That means the more I give you the space to be in this well of love that I've cultivated for you, the more I make this well real, and the deeper this well goes. The capacity in which we are able to love grows. And in that we find ourselves. We return home in pairs. This is what the Course says. We return home in pairs. Now, parenting, okay, if parents can give their greatest abundance and help their child share abundance, that is the miracle working. When we do not do that, when we tell our kids, you know how much I've sacrificed for you, you know this, you are extending guilt. You know what I have to do to make this happen. When we do that, their perception becomes distorted and it causes fear, and they start to live into illusions. And this world begins to no longer be a safe place. This happens in our schools. This happens at home. We don't even know that we're doing it. When we shut down creativity, when we shut down love, every time that we do that, we are creating distortion in others. Okay, I'll take a pause for a moment here. If anybody wants to share anything, feel free to do so. Add to the conversation. Oh, Michelle, good morning. Welcome. Morning, Rushi. So again, I'll just read that and let's see if it evokes any or anybody want to share. Looks like you guys may want to share. All good. So again, to be a miracle worker, for those that are joining us right now on our live, I think this is worth repeating, is that we are opening ourselves to a deep love, a deep well of love. Yes, Michelle, of course. I know you are. The very thing that the the receiver currently lacks. So someone else, your kids, your whoever you're in relationship currently is not in touch with love. But if you are, that's the point of this call, is for us to be more in touch with love. If we can pause for a moment from the scrolling, from the A to B to C, like of our daily life, right? We're all so regimented. There's so much stuff we got to do. Our checklists are endless. Okay, you finish this list, there's going to be another one. So we're taking a moment here to tap into love, to give ourselves the space to remember love. And now when we are more in touch with love, when we go out there to the world, what we are doing is we are gifting others out there, okay, this love. In the giving, receiving happens. It's not in the giving and then later on receiving happens. Time, remember, the only use of time is for miracles. Miracles are the extension of love from one person to another. Miracles are the love that inspires these actions. Okay, so within every one of us, we want to express love, but we have to recognize that giving and receiving are not two separate things and that they are one. The point of the course is to help us become certain of our lives, of who we are. We take all the things in our world that are opposites. Okay, this is why the course says, and Johann will get to you in a second, that when you flip this world upside down, you will remember heaven. Then the vision, I say this all the time, the vision of one world costs you the vision of the other. There is no seeing both worlds at the same time. You're either facing love or you're facing fear. You either have illusions and you're in distortion, or you are in clarity and in miracles. There is no gray line in between. It's literally black and white. And I love that the course makes it so simple that it's black and white. Giving and receiving seems like two things that are happening in this world. In heaven, it is the same thing that's happening. Teacher, student seems like two separate things. In heaven, they are the same. When everything becomes united, distortions are gone. Clarity comes to us. There is no time in which I give love and I don't receive love at the same time. If you're giving love to your kids, there's no sacrifice that is happening. You may have a distortion that sacrifice is happening, but there is not. You are receiving equally the love that you are giving. All right. So with that, we'll take a pause. Johann, brother, feel free to share with us.
I just wanted to check. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right. Firstly, I want to acknowledge you to thank you. You said just hit home because I recently had an interaction with somebody that I was trying to renegotiate a new relationship with, and it was an ex-partner, and she had reached out to me to clear things, and I was trying to be that space. And when you said that, what happened is I've been trying to be a space of love and forgiveness, and a lot has happened. And it was kind of like a lot of what you're saying. I get the teachings, but I try to embody it. But I'm still a human being with feelings and emotions and trying to navigate that. And it was like you said, we had opened a new space, and I was really holding space and not judgment, not beating myself, not giving advice, just listening. And what happened is she started speaking into things, and she's lied to me multiple times to my face. She's manipulated me. I've seen her character, and at that moment, like she tried to open up and I closed. And what you're saying is guilt. Like, and I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that where it's like I'm a loving being. I forgive. I give all this. I'm trying to figure out how to like establish a boundary or something to respect, so people can stop treating me the way that I've shown up before, or to see that they can have that same relationship. And it went really sour, and now we're not on talking terms. And it's just like I'm trying to speak into things to support her new relationship and work through it, but she's still kind of committed to these patterns of just kind of slash and burn with a guy, immediately jump into a new relationship with a new guy, completely the like get rid of the other guy, aka me, make this other guy go completely sour, go really deep, then call that person back, bring them in like you care and everything, and then like not address things, then discard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this is the third time it's happened, and I'm just trying to come back to love because I gave her an art space. I gave her a lot that we're involved in, and I do wish her love and luck. I'm just trying to disconnect my emotions and heart from this because whatever my mind is, whatever I made up, whatever attachments I have to us, honestly look at who she is and love her for who she is, understand how to have that stuff. What you say, just say, not easy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Navigating it.
So it isn't easy. Nothing that the course says is easy because we've built our whole life in I've been doing this and she's always that. And it's just the same thing over and over. You got to get off that wheel, right? You got to get off that wheel. So the course says the world does not need to change. My perception of the world needs to change. That means she does not need to change. Your perception of her needs to change. When she wants to open up, you are being so right about the picture you have of yourself and her that you shut it down and you're like, let's get back to it. Even though you think you want to be in love, but really you want to be right. You want to be right about whatever story you have about the victim that you are and whatever way she's being. And we got to just get off of all of that. You know, our perception around that gets to change. Now, when you are in the space of love now, maybe it's after this call, you feel a sense of clarity. This is the time to have a conversation with her because you're grounded. When we aren't grounded and we go and talk, we let the ego tell us whatever it wants to do. Hey, and the ego always wants conflict. And so the results will reflect if you are listening to the ego or if you're actually grounded in spirit. The results will show you. See, we're not on talking terms anymore. That is the result right there of the ego creating conflict. She did not create the conflict. There is only one that is ever existing. Personal transformation is for us to completely recognize that we are responsible for everything that happens around us.
But I was gonna argue, what about taking responsibility when she's already like gone very heavy in a lot of places, gone back with a person, it's just for me a block. She's blocked me on everything. She's made a choice, and I just don't like having access to me in that way when she has shown up in ways that just doesn't make me feel safe, doesn't make me feel seen, and just isn't a healthy way to have it. That's where I'm talking into that work because it's like, do I just keep it open? Or is that showing forgiveness and love while also not showing self love?
So here's the thing. If it's too hard for you to handle, sure, create the boundary. But just know that even the boundary itself is an illusion that keeps love out. At some point, that boundary will continue to eat you up, and that boundary that you've created will withhold love from others. Your next relationship will suffer because of the boundary that you've created. Okay, so she's a great teacher. First, recognize that she's a teacher. It's not that she keeps doing this, and then see the ego keeps wanting to blame others. Right? The ego keeps wanting to say that I am a damn victim. I don't want the responsibility. It's not me, it's them. And that lets you off the hook. Now, maybe for you, the stake isn't high enough yet. You're still wanting to be right about it. The stake isn't high enough.
Well, I would say the opposite. Like, I'm so willing to be wrong, and every time I leave the doors open because of love, and what happens is I get derailed off my path, and when she comes back in, I start looking and putting weight on things where I know I'm still doing my healing. And for that, I don't blame her. I appreciate her, and I've kept her in that space. But for now, we've tried so many times where it becomes a distraction that we're not really supporting each other. And I've got big milestones and big things I'm achieving, and continuously I see the pattern where this keeps happening. And all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to open it up, I'm trying to follow your advice, I'm trying to do that, try to step into that. And every time I do, it just comes back and it's not supportive, and it leads to more pain and more lessons. And I just want to break from that. I want to build my life. I want to live my life.
Okay.
I want to start with a new, and it disrespects my partner leaving the space open for me to still have emotions and things for somebody already detached from me.
Gotcha.
He's not doing this work. So that's where I'm trying to check in. That's disrespecting my next partner. That's all I do. I know what you're saying, but it's at the same time where it's like, yeah, it's an ego trip. It's also an honest connection to your heart and respecting what you're trying to do and how to support you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Look, I mean, first of all, I admire your courage to keep doing it, right? And to even be in this conversation. So that's awesome. Keep it up, and know that let the results show you where your mind is at. You know? And trying. What does Yoda say? Try, do or not do. There is no try. Right? So the whole trying just leaves a little back door for us to be like, hey, I tried. But all of us are going to return home at some point. Okay. Our minds are going to become free, and we will return to love. All we're doing here is testing and trying to see what our capacity of love really is, what our capacity of patience with ourselves and other people are. She is simply a reflection of you. That is it. Okay. She is showing you the way to love. That's if you can change your perception to see that, then you will start the healing process. And so, yeah, just allow yourself to be and experience what you're experiencing, and give it over to the Holy Spirit. Spirit will show you what a holy relationship will look like. Okay, we can make up all the things. We have all this stuff in our mind running. Oh, it's because of this and that, and I want to do this, and that's holding this back. We just get confused down that rabbit hole. Just say, hey, Spirit, here, this whole thing, I give it up to you. I don't know what it's for. Thank you for it all. And if I'm supposed to talk to her, give me a sign. If not, let me move on. Spirit, you be the decider. And get ourselves out the way. We are the only one that's ever in the way of anything. So I appreciate you sharing and being vulnerable for, not only for us, but having the courage to share like live on this. People get to heal through our sharing. We can all relate to that. So I appreciate you bringing that up, brother.
I was gonna say for me, I've been spending months like through this, doing deep work, like sitting with myself, doing shadow work, doing so much, getting my life together, and then checking in, like, okay, well, this happened because of this, and then I'm like, oh, well, this tells me a lot about me, and like, it's so much introspection, so much like comparing and doing things, and now I'm like, just that energy where I just want to be more loving and graceful and kind and support me, take on so much for so many people, that I want to open new relationships and let go of those that are not supporting me, not healthy, and it's not their fault. It's my inability in this space to really hold that space, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to being a firmer, fuller version of myself so I can be in space for those relationships.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to leave you off with this. You said the word disrespect at some point. Disrespect is a judgment. Disrespect is an interpretation you have about something, which if you think that something you could do or something someone can do could disrespect you, you're basically saying God is okay with being disrespected. Okay? And now I'm going to leave you with one last thing to ponder, is that you or nobody else is the cause. God is the cause. You are the effect. And if you can remember that, then all this disrespect, it means, okay, so then that means God is the cause of disrespect. We are the effects. God is the cause. Okay, so allow yourself to just ponder in that and contemplate that line right there. It has drastically changed my relationship to my victimhood. But thank you for sharing, brother.
I honestly, to be open, I will never until the day I lose the vision of us having a healthy relationship, whatever that looks like. Because she's been one of my greatest teachers and guides. I'm just learning from her and how to be a better man at this time. And because of that, that's where I get tripped up at times because I'm like losing touch with reality and all these things. So, like you said, it's just seeing how I've shown up that's created the outcome I have and what's my intention for what I want and setting it to be love and
Yeah.
having that higher vision because, if you have a big vision of your future, past comes and the familiar comes.
Yeah. And I'll just say that, right now there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of chattering in the mind. So in your connection and relationship with her, I'm going to suggest that less is more. Like even in the words that you say, hey, this is all I want, period, done. Not like this is what I want, and then the whole thing. It creates a bunch of confusion, right? So when you are when you are connected to love in such a way that your messaging is so clear, you can go on and on and on. But in moments of confusion, you are only grasping moments of love. Less is more. Right? So you can communicate with her. Just say, "Hey, this is my intentions for our relationship." Leave it at that. Right? You don't need to explain everything. Truth needs no defense, needs no explanation. Truth is experienced and felt, and truth is love. So, all right, I'm gonna give Frazier an opportunity. I know he had his hand up for a while. So thank you, Johan, brother, for sharing and being so vulnerable, man. I acknowledge you. Thank you. Welcome, Frazier. Welcome, brother.
How was everyone today?
Good, good.
So I had intentions to speak to my ex when I got here, and I had put some what's the word, boundaries, I think is the right word, probably in the conversation. And what you're saying to me, like it's like I shouldn't have put those boundaries on her and her feelings and her, because those boundaries were something that I should have just been open to how she was going to respond to what I had to say rather than try to put boundaries on her. And it was just me trying to be open and honest about how I had felt that I failed in being down here in Texas, fully present for my daughter. I've been coming back and forth every like 3 months, but I myself had a big moment at the conference that I met you at, and yeah, so I can see where I've put these things in place that I shouldn't do. I should just be open and honest and put it out with love, and rather than try to control someone. So thank you for that insight. I think that was really good for me to hear.
Yeah, you're welcome. And there's no should or shouldn't, right? Time to us is linear. Time in heaven is this way. Okay, so that means you always have another opportunity when given over to the Holy Spirit, when you are in clarity, like right now. You're like, man, I could see a possibility without the boundary. Cool. Try it out, right? But if we are in too much guilt and fear within ourselves, it doesn't serve us to even be in their space when we still have it. When I talked about the well of love, when you cultivate it right now, you get to forgive yourself for what you should or shouldn't have done. In the forgiving of yourself and letting go of the judgment of yourself, you start to access and be in touch with love and light. Once forgiveness and love is within yourself, it naturally cannot with what word am I looking for? It naturally will extend out to others and will not tolerate darkness. And it will extend that love and forgiveness which you gave to yourself. Right? So allow yourself to be where you're at. You did whatever you did. There's no wrong or right about it. There's literally it just is. Thank you for the teaching. How do I deepen my well of love so that others may receive it? And as others receive it, I receive it. Okay. And Babeski, my wife is going to share. So good morning.
Good morning. I don't share often.
I know. I'm so excited.
Well, so A Course in Miracles says everything is either love or a call for love. And when I think about a call for love, then you always go down to fear. And if I think about fear in relationships and how it presents itself as disrespect, it presents itself as feeling the need to defend yourself and all of that. And so this is really difficult in relationships to do, because even like Alex has expressed, when we're in an argument, that what he gets to do or what we get to do is one of us gets to find the love and then express to the other person that, like, hey, like, this is not how we talk to each other. Like, this is me loving you. This is me seeing that you are in fear and you are asking for love. And we don't talk to each other this way. And so, like, to go before that in this conversation about boundaries, like, I know that we have it set up that, like, boundaries keep people out. And in relationship, if you're, perhaps you could say that, like, boundaries will keep people out. Agreements will allow people in. But I think in boundaries, in every relationship, boundaries are established to invite the right people in. And if that boundary, if the word boundary is hard, then change the word to standard. And this is my standard, that when people approach me with hostility and negativity, I see their call for love. And my reaction is going to be, how do I love you? Like, how do I respond to you in a way of love that says, hey, I see your frustration. I see I'm experiencing the disrespect. And, like, I don't allow people to talk to me like that. So you have a message to convey. Is there, like, another way that you can say that message? And, like, in relationship, you Johan, like, you've already made your mistakes in that relationship. You can't go backwards. So go forward. And forward looks like, okay, if you're going to keep trying with this girl, then maybe it looks like, and this is obviously unsolicited advice, but here I am. If you're going to keep trying with this girl, then maybe it looks like, she gets in her stuff. Because, like, I can't promise Alex that I'm not going to get frustrated and irritated when I feel pushed up against the time wire. Like, that's what happens to me. Like, if I feel like I'm not being supported and I'm pushed up against the time wire, I'm going to be stubborn and bratty and bitchy. And I'm going to put all the blame on you. And when that happens, because I can't, in the moment, notice that that's what I'm doing, that statement with us, hey, we don't talk to each other this way, has me stop and reflect, like, okay, like, I love this person. I'm trying to convey something without blaming them. And then, so maybe that's what it is for you. It's like, hey, like, I'm going to try this new thing. Like, the way you're speaking right now makes me feel disrespected. Is there a way that you can convey your message without hurting me, like, without attacking me? And then just, like, see what happens. And maybe her reaction is like, no, I can't. and then just be like, okay, then like we get to just like take some time until we de-escalate, because it's true, like no real argument is solved when two people are heated. So somebody's got to decompress, but usually both people have to decompress before you actually find a solution from our personal experience.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm complete.
And it takes great work, because who has an argument like that? Has anybody ever had an argument that you can just be like, hey, excuse me, this is not, is this the way that we should be talking? I mean, who in the middle of an argument, it takes great practice. Now I kind of look forward to an argument, because I'm like, can I do it? Can I be like, hey, don't talk to my love like this? Don't talk to him like this. Like, I have to be in the mid. That means you must be grounded. If you were grounded in the first place, that argument wouldn't have even happened, right? So it's like, what can we do, right? And we come up with a lot of agreements, and we're like, all right, let's see if it works next time. So we're really having fun, but we are committed to that love. Now the caveat, and I would say the warning is, don't judge when it's happening or when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what will happen. And so we have agreements, and we come back, because we get into a big argument, and then we laugh about it later on, like how crazy and insane we are. And then we're like, okay, what is something that we can do? Okay, what can we do to interrupt this next time? Now, it doesn't work for me when in the middle of a heated argument and you're like, hey, how you're speaking to me, I feel disrespected, and this, and that just creates even more of a fight for me. So we trying different.
It's the tone, right? Because like that's always the thing.
It's the only thing.
Yeah, so if you say, I don't really appreciate you talking to me like that, it sounds different than like, hey, like we don't talk to each other this way.
Oh, sounds kind of the same to me. I'm just kidding. All right, so you guys are getting a little glimpse of the type of arguments that we get into, but we return to love, right? Like Marianne Williamson's book is, we return to love. We remember that love is what's important here. Even though in the midst of our fight, we're going back and forth, like, who's the bad guy here? But then we remember, hey, it's us two coming together. What? Yeah, Brooke, that's really gonna. I don't see that working for me. If I'm upset, and she goes, bro, why are you so mad? I actually just watched an NBA reel where this one player is just going off heated, and then the other player, Klay Thompson, goes, why are you mad? Why are you mad right now? And then it just makes it even worse. So there, confronting it never works, no matter what. Okay, when you are confronting it, it does not work. It's hey, here, I let you have the space. If you're going to be mad, okay, how do I hold a container for you? Let me hold this basket for you. Say what you want. Yell at me. Curse at me. But the moment that I say, hey, check yourself, and whatever, as nice as you want to be, when you say check yourself, it creates more of a confrontation. Right? So we can come to agreements where we remember, okay, well, that is what we were going to. It's just agreements to remember love again. And that's all we're trying to do. It's not about the tone. It's not about the words that you have to use. But you got to come to an agreement. Like, every single fight gives us an opportunity to create a new agreement, which allows us to practice being safe in each other's space. So, Johan, did you want to say something?
So what I was gonna say is, the truth for me is I've been doing a lot of evolution in my life, and I've been trying to check in if it was a relationship built on like a trauma bond or thing you said, a perfect mirror. And I have a savior complex where if somebody's in my life, I want to bring everybody with me. You know what I mean? And that's not fair, because that doesn't let people be themselves and love them for who they are, and see them for who they are. I see that now.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, it's just understanding if I open the doors again to be love in that space, and there's so many red flags and reasons why I don't know if that's the best decision.
Yeah. Lesson 5 in A Course in Miracles says we don't perceive our own best interest. We don't perceive our own best interest, even though we think we do. If we did perceive our own best interest, we would have no conflicts right now. We would be in this dream world right now because we would have known what we've been doing. Now I'm 30. How old am I? 38. I'm 30. Wait, I'm 38 years old, and I'm 30. So I'm sorry, I'm 37. Wow, shot. Anyways, so shit. Now I don't even remember what I was going to say. But we've conditioned ourselves for 37 years. Like, I know what's best for me, and yet I still get into arguments and fights and conflicts. We do not perceive our own best interests. The ego does not want to hear this. God perceives our own best interest. The ego does not want to give power over to God. It wants to give power over to this world because this world is more real. We've conditioned ourselves for all this time. If we don't perceive our own best interests, who are we to perceive other people's best interests? See, the fact that we think we need to save somebody else, that whole savior complex, that's something we get to forgive and let go of. The world does not need saving. The fact that you can perceive that the world is lacking is the very thought that creates conflict. So when we heal people, is we are showing them that they are not lacking. But what we're really doing is showing ourselves that my perception that they even lack doesn't exist. All this work is a one-way street. Nobody else needs to do anything. Our perception of the world gets to change. Okay, now I'm going to read something else from the original text of the course, and let's see if it supports this conversation a little bit. This is the inner content versus the outer form. Content versus form. Content versus form. What matters is not the behavior that expresses the love, or even the spectacular outer results that sometimes take place, right? There's grand gestures. Oh my gosh, so amazing. My mom was telling me that my niece's 4th birthday. Oh my God, dinosaurs everywhere. Balloons are dinosaurs. A big dinosaur costume person showed up, and it was just so crazy and so big. It's very flashy and amazing. Even though the intention was to give love, there is a result from that that can create distortion and illusions. And how does that happen? That happens when the parent goes, "Do you know what we did for your 4th birthday? How much we gave to you, and where's my appreciation back?" When this kid is now 7 or 8 or 9, you know how much what we do for you every single birthday? Like it's a sacrifice for them. Right? And when we do that, we create the distortions, we create the traumas. So every time we do that, we get to look at it. So this what we're talking about here, that's the outer form of what's going on. And it isn't the spectacular big things that happen for each thing. And last week we mentioned, what did we say? We said something about forgiveness, but so if somebody were, let's say it's your anniversary, right? You bring this big gesture, grand gesture, and the other person forgets the anniversary. Oof. We've seen this in movies many times, right? That's a distortion right there of specialness, distortion of love, which we made special. This is special for me. If you don't do something equally special that I do for you, there is a problem. So we won't go right into love or specialness. You can watch the replay of last week about love and specialness. However, I'll get to you in a second, Fraser. I just want to finish this thought right here. Miracles are not about performing feats of empty magic or dazzling onlookers into suddenly believing. They are about the love that passes from one person to another. The love that is passed. It doesn't matter what form it takes. The outer expression is ultimately unimportant. The outer expression of love is just the wrapping around the gift. We focus on the wrapping around the gift. Wow, this is a good analogy. So I got to write this down. One sec. Let me finish my thoughts. What matters is the love that is being expressed and beyond human evaluation, beyond our evaluation of it. We focus on the outer things. It's basically, in the trainings, we say the Titanic is going down. We focus on rearranging the furniture in the Titanic. The Titanic's going down. The problem is there's a big hole in the front of the ship. And we're worried about the furniture. We're rearranging the furniture inside. So this love is what's important. That's being passed from one person to another. Yet we are worried about the outer expression of it. Oh, what does it make me look like? How does it make me feel? And we're so focused on the wrapping of the gift, not the gift itself. So a miracle is not about producing some flashy spectacle. It's about the love that passes from one believer to another, from one person to another. Okay, Apesky, go ahead. You got so much to share this morning. I'm so happy. Go ahead. You got your hand raised.
Oh no, sorry, I don't. I just didn't lower it.
Oh man, fine. Welcome, Brenda. Thanks for joining us this morning.
I finally figured out how to join the Zoom call.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. It's been a powerful call this morning. It's reminded me a lot. Anybody else want to share something? Fraser, did you have your hand up? Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So actually, the thing about birthdays that you were talking about there, I didn't celebrate my birthday until I was 37. And I don't like receiving gifts. There's something about it. I've always felt guilty. So it's my parents had always done something like on their anniversary or something like that, and it's a realization when you say something like that attachment of guilt, because look what we've done for you. Look at all these things that we've done. So like now, as an adult, I actually prefer not to celebrate my birthday, but rather like I try to give on my birthday. And it's because of that perception of guilt, and I never really understood why I do that, and now I'm just like, holy cow! Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing to have these little moments of clarity,
Yeah.
I appreciate it a lot. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly. When we recognize that these things are not really other people, it's us. We've had a distorted version of our past, and then we operate out of that. How long are we going to carry that with us? It affects the way that if we can't receive love from others, people don't feel valued or important in our lives. And what you end up doing is you start perpetuating the belief that giving gives you something. And that something is that you get to say that I sacrifice for you, because you never want to be in the other position. And then all of a sudden you are pushing forward the same trauma that your parents gave to you. Now, the power that God has given all of us is our ability to interrupt these things. And through forgiveness of our past, forgiveness of our parents, forgiveness of all the images that we distorted, not that they are the truth, but that we've distorted the truth. And it gives us a new chance, and it gives this moment a new chance. It gives your other relationships a chance. It gives your relationship with your daughter a chance. Right? And this could be that moment that changes your relationship with her forever. This one awareness, which is the expression of love from one to another. See, the love, you now can recognize that your parents was trying to give you love, but there was a distortion that happened. And see, if you can heal that, if you can recognize, wow, they aren't really the outer spectacle that happened was they gave to me and they said, you're special. And then I had to sacrifice for you. And all of that stuff happened. We are focused on the gift outside, the wrapping, not the gift. The gift is the act to even want to give that inspires miracles. It's the love behind it. And it's there for all of us. So when I mentioned earlier, Deborah saying that she finally saw her partner at 100%, there was no need for giving, no need for receiving. The whole distortion of the past was forgiven. For example, and I shared this often, is when Marianne Williamson used to think that her parents always fought all the time because that's what she witnessed as a child. And she grew up having this trauma in her own relationship. And it only got healed when her dad or whatever passed away. And she found the letters that her dad wrote to her mom, love letters and poems and all these things. And was like, wow, there was a different version of this relationship that I did not see. We will never see the full extent of other people's relationships. We will never see the full extent of people's suffering and what they're going through moment to moment. The only thing we can do is try to look beyond their words, try to look beyond their actions, because we don't know what's going on for them, to the Christ consciousness, or what she calls the 100% that is behind, that is within. And from there, we can see a spark, we can see a light in them. And when we see the light in them, we see that we are capable of that ourselves. And then the holy relationship begins. See, that holy relationship does not require you to say anything to the other person or do anything. It happens in the mind. All minds are joined. All minds are connected. So you can heal without having to say something to someone. And when you truly get that, when you pass people that are suffering, you can always give a prayer. You can always share thoughts of love. And it brings love to your mind, which then you see the world as loving, and it heals the distortion that you have of the world. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that share. So there's a book called A Year of Miracles by Marianne Williamson that we always pull from. And so I'll just read day 234. I get rid of my enemies by making them my friends. The only way out of enmity is through forgiveness. I refuse to allow my grievances to hide the light of God in me. I free myself of judgmental thoughts, for they cause my heart to suffer. I think of those I blame, and I send them love. I think of those I resent, and I wish them well. I think of those who have hurt me, and I pray for their happiness. Thus shall Spirit infuse my mind and deliver me beyond the pain of my own condemnation. Thinking of every person who has caused me pain, or so I believe, of everyone who has betrayed me, or so I believe, or everyone who is wrong, or so I believe, I now release all condemnation. I leave to God all efforts to balance the right and wrongs of anyone, and pray that all of us now be at peace. Amen. Marianne is so good. She's running for president. Vote for her. Something else that I wanted to share, but anybody else want to share anything? Okay. There is one thing that I want to share also from the course. I think I don't know who just brought it up. Maybe my wife had brought up this deciding who we want, this setting the standards of people we want in our lives. Okay, and I think that is important on the earthly level. Okay, to believe that this is, we can be affected by other people's energies. See, on some level, we're still saying we can be a victim of those that is around us. Miracles are natural expressions of love in you. The truth that the truth is that love is in you, and you naturally will want to express it through you. So your job is to let it do this. Okay, your job is to do this so habitually that it becomes involuntary. That your natural inheritance of love will want to extend effortlessly. To force love to flow only to your favor recipients goes against the very nature of love. Expressing love needs to become an involuntary habit. There is a universal love in you that you must allow it to express freely. If you decide and direct that love, you will naturally funnel it towards your favor recipients. And it goes against the very nature of love, and it will destroy your miracle working talents. So miracles are natural because universal love is your nature. Expressing love, therefore, is the most natural thing in this unnatural world. Not doing it means you have lost touch with who you are. So when we mentioned in the beginning of the call, to be more in touch with love is to practice expressing love naturally. Wow, what a great call this call has been. Thank you guys all for being here. Anyone want to share anything?
Alex, Steve here. This has been an amazing call overall, and I took many lessons from many of the shares and the things that you responded to in those shares. Also, thanks to everybody who contributed. As far as a share, I just wanted to say, like, this call has been just a great reminder of when we're operating from love or when we're reacting from ego. And it's shown me until this morning a situation that perhaps I responded or reacted out of ego, and so I got some cleaning up. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we all have so many cleaning up to do in our lives, but it's actually not as complicated as we think. We focus on the process of things we need to clean up, but a simple, loving thought, a simple giving it over to the Holy Spirit will clean the whole thing up. It is that simple. Is it that easy? No. Because we run around and we do a whole bunch of things that just create more problems for us. We can pray for that one holy instant. There is only one moment that matters. Whatever pain, whatever trauma, whatever anything that you've gone through in your life, there is only one moment that matters, and is the holy instant. The moment that you decide that this pain, it is enough, and you give purpose and you assign meaning to it. Okay, you let it be an inspiration of healing. You let it be a reminder of love. Then the entire thing dissipates. You've now shined light into darkness. And I want to just share with you guys legends. So I was reminded yesterday, somebody asked me, what does it mean for you to be a legend? You know, we have a legends mastermind. And I will just share my screen real quick for those of you guys that are here, and I'll read it out to everybody too. But Natalia and I actually came up with this together. This is influenced also by our trainings and the things that we've done together in A Course in Miracles. Legends Equity Group. Legends is a light bringer, a way shower, a truth teller, a wisdom seeker, a determined, ambitious, brilliant thinker with unwavering commitment to helping those in need. What Plato refers to as the torchbearers of humanity, those who lead and lift the race out of the darkness and towards the light. So I think that really captures and encapsulates who we are, and as a reminder of the change or the transformation that we want to bring to the world, or the reminder we want to bring to the world. So I just wanted to share that. And Steve, thank you. Every time you come onto these calls, you're like, you always give great feedback. One sec, my phone's about to die. Wouldn't want people on Instagram to miss any of this. So we got 10 more minutes here. Any thoughts? Anybody have any questions about the course, about anything else in your life? Any challenges that you're going through? You're good, Marlene. Thank you. Okay, so one of the thoughts, one of the teachings about the course is that there is no gray. There's only black and white. Every single moment we have free will, but the free will does not determine the curriculum of this world. The free will does not decide which way the river flows. Free will is simply, do I flow with the river or do I fight against the river? So when we look at the things that are showing up for us in our life, do we fight against it or do we lean into it? Do we receive it with love or do we receive it with resistance? So there's only black and white. Okay, and every single moment and every relationship that you're in, you're either opening your heart or you're closing your heart. Only one thing is ever happening. Whenever you are not at peace, okay, Natalia, one sec. Whenever you are not at peace, it is because you chose a loveless thought. See, know that you chose the loveless thought. And the only thing that you have to do is you can say, you're good, Brooke. I'm glad that you are listening and you're listening in while you're doing other things as well. So I'm willing to see it a different way. Please show me to see it differently. Next time you lose your peace, God, show me a different way to look at this. If you're worried, if you're anxious, if you're scared, God, please show me a different way to look at it. And the second part is I am willing to see it differently. See, you need to have the willingness. And maybe nothing shows up for you, but what happens then is because you haven't done it with conviction. It's not genuine that you're willing to see it differently. When you are truly willing to see it differently, a different point of view, a different perspective will show up. And that's faith right there. Go ahead, Natalia. By the way, everybody, Natalia is like my counterpart on these calls. When I'm not here, she runs it and leads it, and she's just been an amazing miracle worker and student of the course and teacher of the course for a little bit now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Alex. It was just a quick, I wanted to thank everybody on the call and thank you and all the shares because the amount of clarity that I experienced today in this call has been massive. And so I'm very grateful. And just like all the miracles. And I remember on the last call, realizing and becoming aware of these specialness in my life and noticing and noticing that, okay, is this love or is this like the needless sacrifice? And it was the example that you used today on the birthday that kind of answered and brought the awareness and the clarity. So thank you so much for that. And I just wanted to express my gratitude for everyone on the call. And I'm smiling. I'm driving, so I don't have a camera, but my smile is like from ear to ear from all the clarity that I experienced. So thank you all so much.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Javier, did you wanted to share something?
Hello. Hey, thank you so much for this meeting, Alex, and all you guys. No, I'm driving, so I just wanted to make sure that I was present at least with my image. It's like a crazy Miami traffic, so that was a mistake of mine. So sorry about that. But thank you so much for the time.
No mistakes. No mistakes. Awesome.
I just want. Sorry, I didn't put my raise my hand, but I want to say something. Thank you, and I love your shirt, by the way. I love it. You know, when I got into this multifamily, like I realized that so many people share about God, and it's just like I love it, and I just thank you for, like you said, nothing is like out of the hands of anything. You know, it just happened. You know, like I got to meet you, and I'm here, like listening. It's just like, you know, things that we don't realize we need to hear is perfect. Like, you know, about the gifts, you know, like I've heard like all my family, they do these humongous parties and then they're like telling their kids and their kids like, well, I didn't ask for it. And
Oof.
that's just like a lot of clarity that you're saying is like, wow, you know, it's so true. We traumatize kids because we do it because we never had it. So we want to give it unto others and you don't realize that we're hurting them as well. So that was, you hit the hammer with the nail on that one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And see, remember, again, it's just from us. It's a one-way street. Like we don't have to teach anybody anything. We just have to be the container and be the well of love. When we throw a birthday for somebody, awesome. We threw it, we received, we let it go. We never have to bring it up again. Unless it's about, see, the only thing to be carried forth from the past is memories and remembrance of love. Okay, not guilt, love. Not specialness, love. And so I know a lot was shared and a lot was said on this call, right? So maybe we're like, man, I feel good, but what was it that we can take away? What is it that I'm going to do? And so I encourage, if you have a moment, you know, like after the call, to just reflect a little bit, take a couple moments for yourselves to continue this stillness that we are dancing around truth right now. You know, and while we're dancing around truth, take a couple moments to remember, what can I do today? What can I do that moves the needle for me? What can I do today that is different from yesterday, that is going to change the way that I've been in relationship with others? Right? We all, as we're, you know, on this call, there might be someone or something that came up in your mind. We don't need to even remember what were the things that were said here, but we get to remember the energy of love that is our natural state that we get to share and extend to those that came to us in our thoughts this morning, the situations, the people. right? However brief those thoughts were. Maybe for Brenda, it's just, oh, my family does this. Then that means maybe we get to extend some love and some share some of the miracles to my family today. This weekend, one of the most powerful things that I realized this weekend was that my niece is growing up so fast and I'm not a part of her life. And I haven't been a part of my mom or my sister's life, really. I don't check in with them that often. So I called my mom yesterday and told her what I experienced at the conference. She's like, oh, you're at another real estate conference. Immediately we start talking about real estate, but I changed the subject. I was like, you know what I realized when one of the speakers was speaking? That I'm not paying attention to you guys. And I want to change that. And then she got really vulnerable immediately and says that, hey, I think our family doesn't do this enough. I think it was me that whenever we didn't create the loving feeling. And she's like, when things are good, it's fine. But when things are bad, we become resentful. About not having the love, not sharing those moments, not checking in on each other. We're just okay with, oh, they exist somewhere out there. And then talk to my mom for like 2 months. There should be no reason why I don't talk to my mom for 2 months, or my sister, or my niece. Right? So I'm committed now. I'm sharing it out because I want everyone to hold me accountable too and get to know where I am and who I am, is that I'm going to be connecting more. So last night I got to FaceTime them and my little niece running around like it was great. And I hope that serves as a reminder for you guys. Where are you guys, letting that slip? Too busy for those that we say matter to us. Right? So, okay. Yep.
I gotta call your sister. She's on my team, and I haven't called her since we were on the team together. So.
Oh man.
You're calling me out in the circle. Oh my God.
Oh, Tim, what's up, man?
Call time, Steve. Group calls, call them together.
Oh.
Let's get it.
Awesome. Yeah, call her. She will love it. She's pregnant again. So she had a miracle baby on that journey with you guys. That was my niece. Okay. We're going to wrap up with something from Marianne. I'm just going to kind of flip through the book and see what opens up for us. I like this one. It sounds good. I never read it. But here it is. So as we come to a close, let's take a couple deep breaths in and allow all the things that have come to us to be as it is, to know that it is going to shape and change us forever. And we say hi, and we say thank you, and we say bye to those thoughts as we step into a brand new moment, a brand new prayer, a brand new possibility. Day 217, love can be trusted. Without love, I am insane. Love makes all things right by aligning mortal events with the natural pattern of an intentional and creative universe. Love is my sanity. It does not lead me into unreasonable or immoderate behavior. It is the guidance system for a wise and peaceful life. The thinking of the world would lead me to believe that the ways of love are often ways of weakness, while the ways of fear are often the ways of strength. Never has a more insane perspective taken hold of the human mind. I shall not be lured into the thinking of darkness, but rather I will cleave to love today. Dear God, when the world will lay its lies upon me and tempt me to perceive without love, may your angels guard my mind and keep me firmly in your light. Amen. Amen. Aho. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. That book is called A Year of Miracles by Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson for president. And no, truly though, she's running for president. And then she has another book called A Year of Prayers, which is really, really great as well. I have like all of her books. Actually, probably not. She probably has a lot more books, but I will look to get all of her books. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me this past hour and a half. Have a fantastic day. Oh, jinx, Leah. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and much, much blessings to all of you and all of your relationships. Talk soon. Bye. Take care, everyone. Well, my camera's flipped the wrong way. I don't know how to fix that.